Okay, we're in record mode. This is Fadi Hamzi. It's 4:22 p.m. On Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Thank you for joining us. Again, last meeting, I didn't want to reschedule you. Again, I've had a hard time. I had some medical challenges, but I'm doing much, much better. And hopefully, in about a month, we'll know what's wrong, given the more tests that are involved. Nothing major. It's just that they think I have COPD, but I never smoked cigarettes. I was a kid. I'm in college. Yeah, at Princeton, college club, Gatsby party. We have a black tie. I have a pack of Dunhills in my pocket. Share it with friends. I never finished a pack. Never went out buying Marlboro and once a day get another pack. None of that crap. As I got older, I only smoked Cuban cigars. And those you don't inhale. Much like Clinton, right? We don't inhale. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you believe that, do I have a bridge for sale for you? But anyhow, they don't know. And so we have a few more tests coming up. They just want to first stabilize me and then get there. So I apologize. This time we're recording it. It's going to get posted. That one was a short meeting. I just wanted to show my face, you hear my voice, and not just reschedule. Now, we scheduled for Tuesday. I wasn't doing Tuesday well. It's just a too overwhelmingly a number of other issues to deal with. So I moved it today. Here we are. Let's do this. Okay. Step one, we're making housekeeping comments. I'm pleased to announce to you that the Admiral Tico has joined our contributors. And you could see, obviously, there's no write up on it because it's a rear ad. He's a fleet admiral. His bio is classified, but you could do his click here and you could see his posts that he's talking about. He basically does two things a day: PMT chart of a day, if warranted, always if warranted, and then stock of the day. Look what he did yesterday. Look at the timestamp. 4:17 yesterday was posted. Okay. Uh, Now take a look at what he did. He said price target is 306, negative 4 sigma, and notice the death cross. The 50 going under, the 50 going under 20 coming up. Okay. Hallelujah. Where are we now? Oh, I can close that. Okay. Hold on. There's a swing. Here's the, not MU. Here's MSTR. And voila. Now, it came back to 300. The low trade is 292. He was looking for 306. What a call, huh? Yeah, that's Admiral Tico. So once a day, we're going to give you one stock. We're not going to give you option trade, but you'll know enough from me to know what you should be doing. Always use the spreads rather than outrights. Outrights are too heavy in terms of volatility right now, and you want to pay out less. Good part of a spread is that you pay less. Why? The outlay is too low. You sell one, you buy one, and you offset part of it with the other one. So always, hey Michael, how are you? Always do a spread there. Okay. So that was what he did on. Uh, hold on. What are we doing here? One second. I'm wrong there. Let me go to a blog. There you go. Here's your blog. Okay. So blog is getting good traffic. Orbis is killing it. Is absolutely killing it. We're posting the results. We're posting the trades and the equity curve. Now, this is all NQ. So it wasn't lead then, but the machine only trades off of NQ. If you use the at NQ with translation, there's a little bit of delay. Translation to find the symbol, don't do that. Draw the trade with the full symbol. Okay? And yes, there's been some pullbacks, but nothing is perfect. It can't be perfect. As the volatility comes back, we told you guys, as the volatility comes back, you're gonna have a uh, you're gonna have a massive move in orb has been doing it. And then we post that for you. Market commentary by Peter Cook in the mornings. I give a quick brief in the morning of upcoming data issues, data points that are crucial, so forth. Okay, so keep an eye on that. That's one. Two, on the orb, We're also beginning trading live at what do you call it? At Striker, like we hit 2 3 years ago. The problem is that we were using IOG back then. In a bar originate intra bar uh, IOG, right? Yeah, intra bar order generation. That was a problem, especially so many people look at this. This is a huge Google sheet, if you think about it, because they give you rankings. If you go here, for example, striker.com, not that, hold on. Is it, I think it's ranking. Uh-huh. So hold on, let me go there. Let's see, do we have, no, strike. That's not it, is it? Yeah, that's it. Oh, there you go. Here's your performance. Yeah, ranking PHP, right. Once you get up there, it takes us 90 days usually to get there. They were the past 3 months. We just initialized it. We just sent them a code like 2 weeks ago. They tested, they ran it. They had a couple of issues. Obviously, they're a little bit afraid because they're running so many different systems to be as up to date as we are. That could cause a little problem with us. We did take a look. We worked with them. Once they were matching our results, we said, okay, you're good to go. I talked to a couple of my guys and said, they won't take the money from me. They can't because I'm the writer of the system. They have to be arm's length. But I need a couple of guys to put, $5,000 at minimum to get it started. Two guys volunteered, and I believe we went live on Monday. Positive there, positive today. But today was excellent. We're still posting them on the blog every day. Let's see if I hit uh, down here. I think there's a If I go here, this week highs. How'd you get these? Huh? Huh? Anyhow, I gotta figure this out. How this thing hits it. Are they going in the bottom? But I'm looking for his orb. There should be a search down here for HA orb, I think. I don't know. Okay. Oh, this is ranked by thing. I'm sorry. This is ranked by a number of incidents. So it goes up. It'll rank. He'll uh, he'll get up to anyhow. But we have it also. We're tagging it as an orb, so you can see all the orb only. And also, what we did today, just to be on the clear side, we also put in once a week. We also put the equity curve. One day doesn't make a difference. Okay, we don't want to overload you. We want to give you the chart, the net, the trades. Okay, that matches what you have there. You can see what's going on. Now, probably have to. Okay, I'll update this chart to show the early part. My bad. I did it quickly. I'll fix that. So that's for the blog. Blog is doing good. Orb is doing good. We did introduce Tiger Shark to the ES. It's a right hand section of ES. If you like to want to take a try, take a look at it, you'll see it allows you to trade on your own. You can trade pre-open, you can trade after the market, but more importantly, you can trade non-farm, retail sales, GDP, durable goods, PPI, CPI, new home sales, existing home sales, all of that, and then plus FOMC. Remember, on Thursdays, Orb doesn't trade, or doesn't trade on Thursdays, and FOMC is in the afternoon. Orb never trades past noon, and it's just really closing the position around noonish, and it's a little bit before, a little bit after. And it's well, it depends on what kind of social space we get. Remember, we roll it every 90 days. We'll take a look at each contract going forward, so we adapt to the volatility, and that's what makes this key. As we adapt to volatility, the response is going to be fairly good, especially in the high volatility area which we're in. You got the fall, you got Trump, you got tariffs. I mean, everywhere you look at, you got Putin, you got the crazy Iran and Bibi. You put them all together. This is the season for volatility. And what do? We got to print some money. We're not going to make money. We're going sideways. These are intraday trades. There's no money intraday if we don't go anywhere. We need a little shake. This is the environment. So take advantage of it. Don't worry about the politics of it. Don't get involved in that. Your job is not politics of it, just like me. You're in it for the money. That's it. Greed is good. Greed clears the fog in your head. If you have a fog in the morning, you're getting up, if you're not rushing to your computer, you're not greed. You don't have enough greed. Better stock with trading Johnson Johnson stock. You don't need to touch futures, okay? Or options for that matter. Okay. What else? Is there anything else we want to talk about? No, in terms of housekeeping. Let's go to econ data. It's 432. Siegfried, Tico is doing so good, you have no idea. He has lost about 3/4 of a pound. Mean, lean and mean, because he walks twice a day with my next door neighbor. They have 2 dogs. You have no idea this dog has become. He's like a little puppy now. So much energy, you have no idea. Like around 9 o'clock at night, I have to beg him to calm down. It's like it's in the morning. Incredible. So, all right, data. Let's talk about data. First of all, nothing on Monday as usual. No, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to gauge it. I don't know what it is. It's a precious money. This has nothing to do with Fed. Well, in Chicago Fed, okay, but but it's not like a Philly index, Empire State Index, manufacturing. You know, I think there's one for Atlanta Fed, but this is Chicago 85. But I don't know what's doing. I haven't seen the time series, so I'm not that all that excited about it. I guess this is a time series, but not familiar with it, so better not make a comment. Forget that. We have a PMI flash, composite flash that came in. Uh, Tiny bit lowered, and then actual also came even lower than that, but there was no consensus. So it's hard to read that one. And that's why probably, most likely, that's why it's just a green report. Let's talk about red ones. We want to talk about red ones. Okay. Very nice. New home sales, quite a bit. Remember, there was a lot of inventory there. There were no buyers. So overall, this is good news to have. For the economy, remember, auto and housing. That's what this country runs on. Of course, a little bit of also Silicon Valley, because now there's a chip in everything. So, okay, so uh, let's look at also mortgages. Mortgages had a huge spike there. Okay, you could see both million at the financing area, but also some purchasing had come down now a tiny bit. That was a huge spike post Fed decision. Let's see. I'm not doing. Yeah, that's maybe yes. Let's go today. Durable goods 2.9. Consensus was negative half percentage wise. Very nice. Okay. I mean, there goes the Fed cut. Fed is not cutting back, guys. Remember, hold on. This guy is not a dummy. A part I think was a part of Carlisle, Princeton guy in economics. Talk about what do you call it? The Fed chair. Now Trump doesn't. He's not following Trump's instructions, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't need to. The whole system is based on separation of powers. So the economy is doing good. He's throwing a quarter point as a bone to the dogs. Uh, and look what the number came. Now, one data doesn't make a thing argument, but just moving forward, this is pretty strong. Look at here, X transportation, zero point 0.2 was the consensus, negative, came in +4. That's a huge difference in terms of percentage change. And a little bit, no consensus on core goods, but still positive. Economy is not in trouble, was not in trouble. It's all BS. Look at the data. Look at the data. Okay, let's go to GDP. Bingo. You do not have Fed rate cut at 3.8 GDP. And look where it was. Look how much you beat it by. Way outside the range. I always look at consensus range to see what the number fell after it comes out. Yes, I want to know before it. I want to know what's in the morning. That's why I post in the morning. What's in it for me? Now today I think posted a little bit afterward. I got here at 8:35. International goods, guys, things are not coming down a little bit. We got a little bit less, but the problem is also the dollar. We've had a massive inflation. That's the stuff. Since inauguration, we're down about 12%, a little bit over 11%, 2% a month. That's a stealth inflation. Nobody's talking about it. And you don't see it until you deal with non-US assets. Let's say buy Benz, BMW, Jag, whatever you want. Then you're going to see the difference. But here in the US, if you're buying and selling dollars, you won't notice it because it's the same currency. Now, do we want more manufacturing here? Yes. So we'll be more isolated from currency translation. But we have too much debt. As it grows at this rate, you add 3.4 trillion. We're buying a trillion to pay the interest. Okay, and the interest is the biggest portion of the debt now, even bigger than defense. So at that point, uh, the dollar dropped. So we're buying less with our dollars. Okay, purchasing power has dropped, uh, and you could see month to month we've dropped a little bit. This was revised. You gave it back. So the trade deficit is not getting resolved by tariffs. Think of you going to see your hairstylist. You get a haircut. You paid $40. She plays. Okay, you pay $40 for your haircut. Fine. So there's a deficit. You pay them. What do you sell for them to come by and buy that back from you? So we have a better transfer of wealth. The goods in trade. It's not going to happen. Why? Vietnam is not rich. China is not rich. We're consumers. We spend money. They don't. They'll never get rid of it through tariffs. And it's an added tax to the consumer. That's a known fact. That's Eco 101. We're paying for this. Who's it paying? Whoever you pay, if you want to release your product at the bonded warehouse of ICE at the customs. So you go there to release them. You pay. Who's that? Freight forwarders on the behalf of a commercial that's going to get this raw product to build something. If it's finished product, let's say like Amazon, they got to pay for the goods to release the boxes, the shipping boxes. To release the boxes, they can put it on the shelf and sell it to you. Okay. We do not get paid from any government. That's not how tariffs are. That's tariff 101. All you need to do is run Chat GPT. Forget anything else. So, given those issues, I'm going to build this case. Um, Job escalation was a little bit less. Again, that's another thing. No rate Fed cut. I don't see any more Fed cut this year. If the numbers stay where they are, no, we just saw it. That was a bone to the dogs. Okay, nothing else here. Existing home sales at 10. That was another one. Okay, that's almost at the edge of the range. Okay, we had a 4.01. I don't know how it was revised or not. Hold on. Let me refresh this. And they came in at the top end of the range. No problem. Good. Okay, what do we have for tomorrow? We have this is a good one. This is what the Fed goes into the fine tooth comb. Has to do with PCE stuff. Okay, so I like to see a core PCE month to month. This is the number I'm looking for tomorrow. Hold on. This one. This is what I'm looking for tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of coming. Okay. What do we have next week? Very quickly from their calendar. September. So it's the week of September 29. Pending home sales and Dallas Fed manufacturing. Remember, our problem is manufacturing. You want to bring manufacturing back, manufacturing numbers have to rise. We're laying off people. 10,000, 15,000, 8,000, each reporting with NFP. It's not working. Hello? The data is showing a different picture. So get rid of the rhetoric you hear on Fox and other ones, including MSNBC. They all have their biases. Data doesn't lie. Politicians do. Look at the data. Data says we are entering possibly a stagflation. Remember Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer? Do I remember that? Remember, he gave Iran away. Hold up. Case Shiller on Tuesday, the 30th. Let's see. Chicago PMI that day. Okay. Consumer confidence is key. We have jolts. That's on 30th. First of the month, which is Wednesday. ADP, of course. Manufacturing is from ISM. PMI final. Construction spending. Okay. Very little on Thursday because it was the day before non-farm. Motor vehicle. Challenger job cuts. Watch that one. Factory orders. Okay. Then comes Friday. You got the employment data, which is 3rd of October. Now, market is quiet right now. Jewish high holidays. 23rd was Rosh Hashanah. So happy New Year to our friends of Jewish faith. I have plenty, believe me. And some of my best friends are Persian Jews, American Jews. So like Marshall Fried, Tony Molayam, and so forth. So, but this goes on. You sell Rosh Hashanah, you buy Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is Thursday, the 2nd. Right into non-farm. So I'm willing to bet with you non-farm is going to be wild. So volume. There's a volume. Now, whatever we get on the number itself, that has another impact. But I expect we're going to have a very quiet week, difficult week this week. You sell Rosh Hashanah, you buy Kippur with that bias right now. If you read my book, the chapter after mine, which was by Peter, not Peter, Phil Erlanger, talks about seasonality. A key part is what do you call it? Is September volatility and seasonality. We're there. Okay. Our next meeting most likely will be uh, the 9th of October. Okay. No, I'm sorry. The 8th. Let's go back to Wednesdays. Yeah. This is a special situation we're doing now. Okay, that's for calendar. Let's go to charts. Any questions about the calendar? Are we good? All right. Don't be shy. I don't bite. So ask your questions. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. I get the medication I have is a little blood thinner. My cholesterol has cut back, but I'm still on medication of last April, where it was high. I was visiting to, LA for New Year. Too much rich food. Okay. Anyhow, here we go. All right. Timer charts. We did hit 06 yesterday, this morning. I mean, this afternoon. Yeah, or we can look into IB level. Oops, sorry guys. Yeah, I just cut myself a little bit. Be careful. Yeah, with the blood thinner, you can't cut yourself. I just scratching. Yeah, I have psoriasis, so that's a problem. Okay, let's go here. Hold on. Here is the IB levels. Okay, so you can see the three indices, uh, ES and Q and Russell, how it did throughout the day, and we had a pretty good gap down. Came back. We stayed within the IB. That says basically we didn't bounce off the bottom. We didn't reverse. We still closed 33 negative. Okay. Same thing up there. Boy, I mean, I had one long that killed me because I was early on. I was off, and then I had one short that really worked well. Not the whole time. No. You don't need to stay there all the time. This is a huge move, especially with NQ with the leverage. But the short one that saved me, I had to cut my guts up, tried a little bit extra. The moment was nice, positive, I got out. No questions asked, didn't go back in, did not renegotiate or relitigate the situation because we have such a high volatility. Intraday, ST Wall hit, I think 47, 48 for NQ. That's parametrically high, so that you at any one time your winner could become a loser. So you get enough juice there, you take it off. Michael Baker. Uh, that's a very good question. Michael Baker is one of our guys here for years and years. Respect his opinion and good questions. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, you better listen. Just like yeah. Do the do you trust the data coming out of a government? Okay, I think I like to. Okay, let me answer it this way. I believe in America. That's why I came here. I was a kid. I read the Constitution. I had a copy with me. Even in Iran, I had a copy, which my dad would go crazy. Right now, I have a copy on my desk. Uh, the Constitution is we're going to have checks and balances. Same thing happens in the government. As long as they don't manipulate and go in there and fix numbers, or if they do, there's a whistleblower that acts as checks and balances. Then they're forced to be professional. Most of these guys at BLS, they're not taking sides. They're not politicians. They can't. They're doing numbers. First of all, non-farm, it's a cell-based calculus, just like a CIA. No, it's a need to know only. You know only your area. Nobody knows the total picture until about 4 p.m. day before. So non-farm coming out on our calendar. Let's address that. Comes out on the third. On the Thursday afternoon, a week from today, around 4 p.m. Eastern, the two emails that go out, one to the Fed, one to Oval Office. Well, what that number is from who? The top guy. They just aggregated it. Rest is quarantined. They can't be out, and if they release it to you before they release it at the Fed headquarters on Friday, you cannot leave the room. You cannot use your phone. It's quarantine until 8:30. 8:30, do whatever you want. Okay? I'm not the Fed. I'm sorry, at BLS. At BLS, when the data comes out. So if they do it in that aggregate mode, in a cell way, where cell parameters, something like 40 people are involved. As long as they're professional, they took their oath and they respected the oath to the Constitution, we shouldn't have a problem. Short of that, you don't know if they're manipulating it. Let me just say this too. Not in defense of the current administration, but as uh, an outside possibility, you don't know if they may cajole people. They may push and be a bully. Trump is a bully. We understand that. I've been bullied when I was in, not grammar school, but yeah, grammar school or middle school. But my point is, by the time I got to high school, I was tall and I would take them on. Um, but before that, I was very, very fragile. Like when I was like in the grammar school. The point is, bullies never win. Bullies have a problem with their logic. That's why they become bullies. Why do you think people join the mob? Because their logic has failed to work. So they become mobsters. Okay, a bully is another form of a mobster. They may push him around. If the individual is weak and gives in, we got a problem. But then maybe we get a whistleblower out of it. But until then, you don't know if they're manipulating or not. Uh, the the and also there are too many uh, data points out there. Let's say if they're messing on with GDP, okay? There's too many other data points out there that if it doesn't jive, you're going to see it. Maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months. In a sense, for example, let's say uh, let's say NFP numbers are good. You better get a bump on the mortgages, a bump on car purchases and so forth. Why? It takes a mortgage. It takes a job to pay a mortgage. So if those relationships, those correlations do not break, then they can't lie. Now, I'll say this for a fact. The number of hedges I talk to, some of my classmates, we have nothing to hide from each other. We trust each other over some 40 years. They're bitching that some of the correlation stuff doesn't work. So a little bit chaotic here. So I don't know if that causes data to be a little off, but it looks like it smells maybe. But Michael, that doesn't mean definitely they're manipulating it. Would they manipulate? Yes, possibly. They have the mindset. Why? He's a low self-confidence guy. Notice he gets crazy if somebody makes a comment about him, and he's happy when you praise him. That's a sign of a low confidence guy. I don't care what people think of me. Why? I know why I'm here. I know my mission. I know my capabilities. I know my shortcomings. And I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I don't know what he's trying to do, but obviously there's a few screws missing. And so that's what things were chaotic. The talk he gave at the, what do you call it? at the UN. Tico could do a better job. Yes, Tico. Yeah, it was totally chaotic, non-comprehensible. None of it made sense as a segue to the next subject. And wrong venue. I don't know what he talked about. Like what do you call it? Escalators. I mean, come on, come on. You're addressing 120 heads of states. You're worried about escalators? They probably somebody messed something up just to mess with him because they know he's weak mentally. So that's why he's got that. He needs that bravado. So just relax. This will pass. We'll have another year of this. There'll be a clean slate next election because all the mess ups are so huge that you're going to see the both House of Congress will go Democratic. And then I expect him to resign because he doesn't want to be the absolute what do you call it lame duck president. You know, last 2 years over 8 years, and he's not in control. But if you look at his popularity, look at the problems, and you're going to see a lot of challenges for the GOP. Like for the record, I'm GOP myself, but not this GOP, not the Trump kids. I'm a Liz Cheney GOP. You know, Bush 41, the Reagan type. Yeah, these guys are not GOP. Look at the debt. GOP will never allow this kind of debt to increase. So yeah, just too much. Okay, let's get out of politics. We need to come back to here. Hope that answers your question, Michael. I'm trying to be as uh, upfront and yet uh, 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 transparent on what I'm thinking. I like what he's doing with the border, by the way. I don't mind that. I just don't like separation of families. Deport all of them. Okay? And if they're kids, deport them too, without anybody. Some of these coyotes bring kids with no parents. Okay, but don't take them in. Ship them back. Just do the what do you call it, biometrics, so you know who they are. Fingerprint, what do you call it, eye pass, cornea pass, and just send them back out, just so you know who they are. Plus, mark them with severe what do you call it, penalties if they show up again. Soon the message gets out there. Don't come here. Most of these people, one thing Tom Holman said, now he's a guy who probably took some money and all that, they're all susceptible to politicians. But just one thing I appreciate that, uh, which was um, uh, uh, we need to be tough enough so you don't have this, 10 million people showing up here. If they realize things are a problem, either self-deport or don't even show up. But how do we feel that the difference in people go to work? I'm afraid some of the Americans are too lazy to work, looking their job. Have you seen them out in, let's say near Irvine, picking up strawberries for you? Some of the best strawberries in the world are next to 405 going down to Irvine. You think there's anybody there now? No. ICE is there every day. So who's picking up the strawberries for me? I want my strawberries. Excuse me. Sorry. So that's a problem. Hold on. Yeah. Anyhow, for years we kicked it down the road. There's a price to pay. All right, down 33. McClellan Australia went to 143. We're not oversold, but we're approaching. My goal on the trade we put on was 50 bar. Okay, that's it. 45.50 area. I mean, 64.50 area is my target. I don't want to short a trade. The trade has started. It's a long trade. So one day the decay is not a big deal. So I don't want anybody duplicating it other than members. But we do this. Put spread with a long duration, okay, with a large also spread between the entry point on a long put versus the short put below that in a SPY. One thing I want to show here. Let's see. Let's go to here. Oh, I want to show a skew first. Let me go to skew. Okay. SQ is not giving us a signal. I want to be clear. Last time we were here at a government shutdown was in 2018, and about this time, I remember. And I went short about October 1st. Took me It took me 3 trades to be short into the Christmas Eve. And did we kill it? I don't know if you guys remember that. This is Q4 2018. I nailed it. I mean, these guys couldn't even breathe at the time of digest, and I was time of the year that year. So one trade that made a difference. But I held it for 3 months with time of digest, three PMT trades. Same bias, three trades. Why? Because we don't move in a straight line. When we moved up, down like this, I book it. I'm looking at the Sigma, the CIs. I book it. Then I short it again, book it. And the third one, well, think of it this way. This was October. This was like November. Then this was December. November was a small move, even though it was a short reward. The December one kicked it out of the ballpark. And we closed Christmas Eve. I remember I'm closing right before the cash close on Christmas Eve. And we're supposed to be somewhere. One of my friends, he and his mom are very religious. And we had to be there for Christmas Mass. I don't practice any religion, you know that. I have too much electromagnetic wave. Uh, Blame it on what do you call it? James Watson, James Maxwell, the Scottish philosopher. Uh, he did electromagnetic wave basically. He created all the work we have on electromagnetic wave, and actually led to radar, that kind of stuff. So anyhow, long and short of it is, I'm not practicing anything, but I like Christmas Eve. The masses are good, colorful. There's happiness, people singing, all kinds of stuff. So we had to get there, and I remember closing positions. I live here in the. I live at Huntington Lakes. Oh, the Lakes is not here. Dennis isn't here. Dennis Parmley, our neighbor over there. So I was closing it as the market closed. You remember SPY straight through 415, and we covered that. Of course, intraday low was next day, and it took off. Christmas we were closed, so day after Christmas we just took off. Made it low, nominal low, and then took off. And the close was to close the day before. I don't wait for it to do the reverse. Somewhere in here is good enough for me. If I'm short from here, somewhere here is good enough for me. Remember, you have two gap downs, for example. I don't need to. I don't want to sit down and see how continuous it goes. Why? I want to lose my bias. Lose your bias. Come back fresh. Remember, commissions are cheap. So, so, so we don't have anything from a skew. Let's go to SU1 Momo. Momo says, "Oh shit," that's what it says. Oh my god. No, no, no. Something's off here, guys. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me killing the share for a second. I know what this is. Hold on. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're converting these to for Ninja. So I had to run it steady for someone who was programming this stuff, and he forgot to reverse it back. So let me fix that. Remember, TradeStation has number of indices that's made internally at the plant. There you go. I knew that was off. Sorry. Here's your share back. I just didn't want to go back. When I go to the back of the pages, that's my stuff. We don't go there. Okay, that's right. Yeah, it's just negative 20 didn't make sense. Yeah, yeah. This is the Momo versus SP1. SP1 is selling. We're at -3, but this says, well, I'm not there yet. I'm only -4. I need to go to 10 or close to it, at least this area. So at least 675 or better, and then ideally really -10. We're not there yet. I expect a little bit more bleeding. Maybe tomorrow we'll go up a tad. Tomorrow is being Friday, but I expect some selling to start to Monday. Now, what we don't have a control over is that's what creates this craziness is exogenous news. We don't. Okay. What do we have on this short? We're buy and buy now. We're short-term sell for a couple of days, went back to buy. We have pulled back. This could go to sell here too. The good part here is we do not have a peak here yet. If you look at the weeklies, we don't have any peaks. So it's early. It's way, way too early to to call a top here, but we're close. I'm also looking for this cross. This could be a big crucial cross. Okay. Uh, we had a buy here, so I'm gonna go and do a vertical line here for you on this buy, right? That CI there. No, no, no. Bring it over. Bring it over. There we go. There we go. No, no. One more. Come on. There we go. Huh? Come on. Come on, dude. Still doesn't want to go there. Why? Okay, that's a cross. Yeah. Mm, sorry, guys. I'm finicky and it's not responding. I'll set that up. Let's the color be green. Oh, okay. So even though we sold so hard on the weekly chart, look, the CI weren't that big. They were not that low in terms of amplitude. We were here a little bit lower, but there was no cross. It happened after that. There's a slight delay. I understand that. It's a weekly. But I'm looking for this one. The red line for that. That could be formed anytime. That could be, we need a little bit more move downside. Then you got that. It could be tomorrow, it could be Monday. Then you got a sell signal there too. This will sell too. So we had sell and sell. It's a what if, but take a look. Again, uh, weekly highs and weekly lows, just S&P alone should keep it pure. Otherwise, if you're using NYC, you'd have too many names. You'd see that we're not peaking here and we're not peaking there. So no signals from these two charts. Okay, okay. Back to uh, to SPX timer chart. No signal from the breadth thrust. We did convert that also for Ninja. Not to distribute, just for the PMT. I'm trying to do a PMT in Ninja. That's my goal. And we're getting almost there. The problem is that we got sidetracked with Tiger Shark. A little bit noisy here right now. Yeah, volume is on the low side. 221. We're not getting a spike. If we get low, you're going to see a spike. Then we have to evaluate where we are. If we have a good margin, we will just close it. Book that. We need to book something. We will. Okay, hold on. Okay, what is this for? Hold on. Okay, uh, this is canaries in a coal mine. See this? Yeah, we're not going up. Not in this transformation environment. And now we did make a little high, but look how behind we are on. Oh, that's utility. I'm saying we made a new high. Let's go back here. Yeah, kind of. It's the Russell is leading a little bit there against it's a little bit delayed actually. The NDX is ahead of Russell there. Unusual. SQ we talked about. Treasuries, rates are rising. No question. You can tell. You can see what CI did. CI gave that signal a few days before. We're rotating on behalf. So it's just funny with these realtors and usually some of the wife of some of my friends are realtors. The husbands trade. They moved down here from Chicago. The realtor guys, and they just got really giddy on the rates. Please, 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 drink some tea. Okay, Lowry, no signal. This is really, really waste of time. To be honest with you, he doesn't give us a signal in a while. So, okay, let's go to the system that trades. Again, this we cannot repeat in Ninja. These are proprietary data that TradeStation has. Okay, long on ES still. Reset from the 0 sig. Rebound, I'm saying. Yeah. Kind of a soft reversal. Not high enough. We need a hammer. Something like this bar. We didn't get it. Okay. Mid cap, we're short. I'm saying the system is. Russell system is long. And Q is long. So long, 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 one short. Mid caps, okay? We've talked about those. Fib, forget it. These are PMTs. Okay, that's the trenders. Okay, very quiet. The 50 bars, yeah, kind of. Look at it, yes, and we're heading down a tiny bit. We're not near any limit. If you, for example, I would want to look at what Russell is doing. Not near any limit yet. Well, maybe you disagree with me on that, but that's 15.6. We're at 10. That's the 1/3 off. So we're not near any limit on the upside. So this could continue a little bit higher. It could. You cannot you cannot say because I put a trade on, obviously it's going to go down because I say so. No, you got to watch the other side. The what ifs. Um, Positive. This is golden cross golden, golden and golden. Yeah. I think when you get individual names, it's a different ballgame. Okay. Here's the best part of the ballgame. Again, this one of the charts that Tico uses for a chart of a day. Again, we try to feature one chart a day on the blog. Make sure you follow blog. It's blog.hamzyalex.com. Simple. Used to be .net. We had to move it. The SEO guys didn't like that. The search engine guys didn't like that. And Nancy, Larry, and a company in New Delhi are working on this. So I had to give in. I said, fine, do it your way. And so we put our .net on hold. That's what Tony Montana said in Scarface. We put it on ice. Okay. All right. SP2 negative 42. We talked about this on the blog. If I remember, Admiral Tico said, "This is too high. This is too high." We're at 90. You see that? One of the best indicators ever, thanks to Stan Harley. Except I didn't know exactly what he wanted. I had to go in there and work with it. What the heck is this? Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Not data. Okay. Huh? Where's the data? Symbol. Okay, no. That's that. That's not the issue. The issue is the scale. Automatic. Huh? Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry. 1 second. I gotta go into this. 1 second. I gotta fix this. SP2 scale is off. There you go. Fixed. Sorry. You can have it back. There's your share. Sorry, it wasn't as bad as I thought. There you go. This is the right chart. Max should be 0 and 100. Why it went to 110, I don't know. Maybe Tico touched something. Anyhow, 42, very neutral. No signal. The signal up there was excellent. Look at that. And we wrote about it. If you look at the blog, we have a lot of room to write. It also writes to the Twitter, writes to LinkedIn automatically. Indebted to Jeffrey Lin. He trades ES there. Very sharp guy out of Shanghai. Good friend of mine from California. Family's from Taiwan, actually. Um, and he went to, I think, McKenna College, Montclair, that area, outside of LA. Sharp cookie. Okay. Uh, okay. As I said also yesterday, I think it was, yesterday. Uh, Look at the separate, look at the 90 days spread. We're long. Remember, we just had expiry. So we're long. We got to be long October. It has to, because we just had expiration. And then 3 months later would be January. So long 20 October 1025, short 126. That's the net results. You put a signature on that, so you can get a vibration out of it. You could see upward and heading up. What does that mean? We still have a little work to the downside. When this gets to zero, the low is in. If it gets to this area, that's a high. And we actually went up to this level too. So if it's low because it's a negative asset, remember, it's a volatility. So it's a negative asset. So the value is very negative, then we're approaching tops. When it gets to near zero, that's the low. Does it have to be zero? No. Look at what they call it, pandemic. It was like +2. We actually had to do a shift there, offset. Like, let's say you do get AI package, you have to need to have that offset. Otherwise, you're throwing it into a spiral. What else do we have here? No, I don't see anything else. All right, let's go and look at. Let's go and look at. What happened to my thing? Okay. Let's get these two charts. Here we go. Okay. You see that? Okay. Huge divergence. S&P is market cap, all the big guys in it. But these are the all 500 names. Okay, for 50 bar of the percentage of the stocks over 50 bar. Yeah, percentage of 50 bars over 50 bar. And it's dropping. While we're going to new highs. This is typical. You're going to get that divergence. At 200, you're going to see even more. Just nature of the beast. I usually use the 200. Okay, 50 is there, but yeah, you got to look at it a few times to get handle of it. You got to look at it in the context of not doing tomorrow. You can't come back and look at a year before. That has no value. Excuse me. It was written. It is written. You're looking at it from a like a curve fit. You don't want to do that. You want to look at it where tomorrow is nearby and you don't know about tomorrow. And that's the area you want to concentrate. Right now we have a separation there. 61.8. I see that. And that's the value of the green line, the actual value. The other two are the moving averages. Um, looks like it wants to cross down. We'll see. We'll see. So this could be a little bit noisy here. But when it gets up there or down here, less noise. That's just like any other asset. You want to see its behavior when it gets to its extreme. All right, this is it for the charts. Let's go to any questions for me on the charts before I start swing file where we go to individual names. Obviously, MSTR is trading here. Wow, he got killed. Yeah, 292s. Thank you, Admiral Tico. So it pays to feed him those steaks from Jimmy P's. There's a payback, of course. All right, let's go to. We don't want to do high beta per se. By the way, MSTR keeps on losing market cap. These are some huge cap. When I told my friends to around 400 cash out, they were laughing. They were right. I was wrong. It rallied. Look where it is now. So this is a Ponzi scheme. I don't like what he's doing. He's borrowing long term and investing short term. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So now, as long as Bitcoin goes up, he's fine. Pain is off, but Bitcoin hasn't been up. You saw Admiral Tico talking about 103. Look at 103 carefully before this drop, like this. Look at this, like this. Yeah, he was talking about 103, that area. Well, now it's more like 101, which is confluence of 4 sigma and 200 day. That's my target. That means that, so 102, 101, 891, that's 102. Okay, what happened here? Hold on. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Let me go to scale. Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, it's not that. Sorry, wrong page. Hold on, window. Okay, this is 7. Yes. Okay. Okay. You see the values. Okay. Still. Oh, whatever. Oh. I know why. Hold on 1 second. That's USD. No. Hold on. This is. Let me go here. This is the problem. We need to go to scale, and we gotta go to 0. We don't need the decimal points. That's for kids. There you go. Now we're clean. Okay. Now let's save that before we forget. Boom. All right. So before that was 103. Right now it's 102. 101, 896. That's 102. Okay. Let's see what we go at 102. Yeah. All right. So let's go to market cap, sort by market cap. First name, NVIDIA. Okay. A little bumpy here recently, but it's trying to go for new highs. Could be an M here on the weekly. Can't rule that out. A lot bumpier recently than before. We had a very nice run. Remember what I was talking about? More and more, pretty much since the first of the year. But now they're putting this, and now they're going to put 100 billion in something. Sooner or later, it's going to be serious money. Yeah, for Nvidia. I think they're putting in the, was it Apple? No, which one had somebody? It's not Intel. It's not Intel. Intel was 5 billion. This is something big. Oh, OpenAI, and now they're financing that purchase. Okay, it's like Verizon gave me a card to pay my phone bill. What? That's like a Ponzi scheme. You give me a credit line from Verizon to pay my Verizon bill. Can you believe that? Yeah, it's unbelievable. These things one day will get into trouble. You cannot finance your own customer. Not to that tune. Not that big. What you want to do is uh, get the invoice, sell it to a third-party financing company, like a factoring, for example, in a rag trade, or or for that matter, in what do you call it, in Sherlock business, like chip making, not not making the chip, but let's say making the boards that chips go in. These are done in sweatshops, and mostly they're not well run well. Usually get a lot of QA problems. So some of your billing is questionable. So you end up really not having a prime bank taking care of you. You go to a short locker who does factoring. So they give you factor, like they give you 90% of your invoice immediately. And because you have other issues, you need the money badly. You got to spend it. It's just you never get out of it. And then like the rate is 3% a month on the balance. So as they get behind, those 3% add up. You never get out of it. So anyhow, Nvidia, we're up close about 32 cents. That's not a big signal, but we're selling inside the big day they had on the 22nd. That's a daily, yeah. Little sideways. I like to pass. I don't want to buy it. This Apple, I want to buy. Apple looks good. Apple's got some oomph there and all-time high. Yeah. Market cap 3.8. Nvidia is still good at 4.3 title. So you know, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm looking at this. This is my symbols. Here's a market cap that takes the price of the stock times the outstanding um, um, shares outstanding as defined by filing of 8Qs, okay, with the SEC. They have a database, they update that. Okay, third is Microsoft. Here's Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft also would pass. So far, I would be interested to be long Apple, slightly. So far, why? Single channels are horizontal. I don't want to make money there. It's going to be a struggle. And I'm tying up my money over something that big that's not moving. No, thank you. This is where I want to be involved. When they're expanding. When it's expanding, I'm there. Right now, it's a little bit weak. Google have come a long way. Google has done very well. It's come up, has pulled back some, getting some air out. Uh, let's see what it does at 214. Can it go there? I don't know. We'll see. At least first test is 226. But I would be probably inclined to buy some options, like say December timeframe on Google. Amazon. No. This is not good. You get the dots, you come into 200 day. Pause. Hit the tea. You need more tea. I suggest you get some good fine Persian tea from Caspian villages. I mean, the villages in Gilan and Mazandan facing the Caspian Sea towards humidity. Yeah. Especially if you have a connection, get the first bloom in the spring. Yeah. I got a connection at the airport. Remember that scene with Butt Fox with Golden Gecko? I got a connection at the airport. Yeah. Why? Well, because it's a contraband right now. You can't even bring tea from Iran. So they think you're moving some 60% grade uranium. So let's go to Meta. Um, we like Meta. But it did good. This gap up was good. I don't know what it's doing now. For this week, we pass. Avgo, Broadcom, another great company. Reg FD, my brother works for, in a lesser capacity as he's getting ready to retire. But gap up here. If this gap up is filled, and we're getting almost there, if you think of it this way. Yeah, if you get it this, think of it this way. We're getting that start to fill. There's a big drop there. So here is the challenge there, right there, right there, right there, right here. 310. I think 310 may be a good buy area. So I wouldn't touch it now. Tesla, I don't know about Tesla. I just don't. So much hype. Yeah, dealing with an insecure guy and so much hype. So if he makes one mistake, he he needs too much from federal government, so they're going to come after and clip his wings. Oracle, another woo boo trade. We call it woo boo trade. Nobody bought it, in my opinion. They all said for what? Really? Just the guidance? So we'll see. So we'll see. Yeah. Oracle. Remember uh, Alex Jacobson. He saved Oracle. He's chapter 9, I think, of my book. How he went in one weekend between leaving at SIBO and starting at IC in New York. The weekend he went to Silicon Valley to actually Redwood City because by then, yeah, they by then. No, I don't know if they had by then or not. Maybe they relocated. If you go by Redwood City, part of Route One, you see all these cylinders. That's where Oracle is, and you can't miss it. He spent the weekend there, and he set up the trades to sell calls against their position with that money to buy puts, basically creating an effective floor ahead of .com debacle. And he did a great job. The problem was that the company went to shit because the management had nothing at risk. They were inoculated. Yeah, I knew it play by play because he's a good friend of mine, Alex. He just passed away. Interesting character. Really helped me a lot with SIBO. He's the guy who he came to speak to my user group. That's how I got to know him. And he understood what I was doing. Option guy. Trade more EX than anybody around. So and then um, and then he helped me with SIBO. So I get to for me to get me into SIBO and rest is history. Okay, Netflix. Netflix at $1,200. Really? Are you kidding me? For a streaming service? Um, But you know what? We get in this range where everything is nuts. So you get caught in it too. I can get caught in it too emotionally. But really, $1,200 for streaming? And look what it's done so far. Nothing. I pass. Palantir. I'm still trying to figure out what these idiots are doing. Remember Teldar paper? He says they got 33 vice presidents, 500,000 emails back and forth a month. And where's the company? Yeah. This is none of this. I'm trying to figure out what these guys do. Obviously, Pentagon think that we need them. So very high volatile. I think it's the second on our list on volatility. I'm sorry, on beta. So highly recommended to be careful with it as you can. Costco is not Costco anymore. Remember, a couple of years ago I pushed it so much. We did very well with it, but not now. Costco pass. T-Mobile pass. Cisco pass. AMD right now pass. Right now pass. But it may have a rotation here. We'll see. Gotta watch the weeklies here. AstraZeneca, great cancer operation, cancer research pharma. They saved my mom for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah. She had other problems, but AstraZeneca really is out there. And Smith Klein, between AstraZeneca and Smith Klein, that's where action is. Last but not least, Intuit. So we're going to do Qualcomm too, sorry. And Micro, two more. Intuit, yes. Yeah, maybe, a little bit. I would play this a little bit. Buy 700s, sell 750s. Okay, and buy a couple of months forward into it. Yeah, it's hard to borrow. Most likely it's going to go up. There's HP in front of it. If you okay, like see at HP, hard to borrow. More chance of going up. Uh, the less chance of people be able to go in there short it. Hold on one second. Huh? There we go. Sorry. Okay, now. Pepsi. No, no, thank you. I need Coke. Okay, Pepsi. No, no, no. Possibly a short. Possibly a short. We're in a death cross and we can't get through 50. Possibly a short. You may want to buy some puts. Buy 135, sell 130s. Okay, month out. Put your stop at 145. No, please. Qualcomm. Qualcomm. Still rising. Yeah, I like this. I like Qualcomm too. You gotta be cautious here. Where we are, buys are very, very difficult. You almost gotta be become lucky. So I wouldn't just go there and do something stupid and crazy. Now this is another one. Booking.com, $5,000 share, and there were 245,000 shares traded over $5,000 share. Jesus, where are we going with this? Okay, Sigma channel, nothing. Sigma channel here, weekly and daily, nothing. Pass. MU, that's the last name. And there's Lam Research. Oh, there's Boeing. Hold on. MU. Okay, it's pulling back. Yeah, yeah. This is the one that really moves because of memory. Micron is a big, big memory shop. I've worked for them. My brother had a design that we used. We had to use Micron. That's some of the best timing inside of memory chips. Here comes Texas Instrument, another bigger brethren of MU. Although if you if you look at the market cap, they're about the same. They're about $10 billion difference. MU is bigger, but you wouldn't notice. MU is fairly new compared to Texas Instruments. Lam Research. I love this company. Yeah, there you go. You can see why. Yeah, yeah. I would be bullish here. Yeah, remember, if we're going to recession or slowing down, the first out of the chute is electronics and semis, and that's why you're getting the bid. And they're the first to go down. As we come back, as evidenced by rate cuts, they're the first one to jump. And last but not least, Boeing, the premier exporter, is in trouble. Yeah. Look, yeah. Yeah, I have a friend with some Boeing. I could not convince him to get out. Maybe I should now, because he wouldn't get out here. Okay, he made it come back. He got to get out now. Yeah, I wouldn't get involved with Boeing. Boeing still has some issues. Now, I'm done with the presentation on the stocks we usually look at. How about we get some questions? Okay, Michael Becker writes, one second. What effect will government shutdown have on Yom Kippur? None. Except the timing is the same, calendar-wise. But there's no, the reason I say that none, there's no analog for that. In the past, we didn't have shutdowns like this happening on Yom Kippur, or Yom Kippur being the second day of a new quarter. Remember, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur moved; they're not fixed. I think because they're lunar months. Not no, that can't be. That's a Muslim religion. But they're shift. They're not constant. They're not fixed. Uh, that's like Zoroastrians. They use spring equinox and fall equinox. That is fixed. How? In the in the uh, celestial navigation system. It's fixed how the stars line up in our galaxy. So, but not. I don't know how they go by it. I got to ask my Jewish friends, but I wouldn't worry about that. Except that the government could mess this up, the calendar. Yeah, but it's not intentional or the correlation sustainable. It just happened now that's on second. And I don't think they're going to shut down the government. They're not that dumb. But it's going to go to the brink. And that's what we want. We want to go to the brink and recover. Any other questions for me? Anything else, guys? Again, don't forget our blog. Again, it's blog.hamzix.com. Everything is going there. We have updated some of our links and some of the other stuff here. As you know now, we run on Striker, both MNQ and NQ, for those who want to be hands-free. We talk about Orb there. We're trying to put content there. Content is king. The best part of a deal is what Peter writes, Peter Morning. And then, of course, some of the stuff that's happening market-wise, econ data, what have you. Those that make sense. On the charts for Tico, we need to have valid reason. It's not a quota system. It does say chart of a day, but we're not guaranteeing you we'll have a chart every day because we don't want to talk about BS. We want something solid. We're doing much better, Siegfried. Yes, sir. Yeah. Part of it is pulling myself up with bootstrap. That's all I have. It's Tico. Here, my family's on the West Coast. They're trying to talk me to go over there. I'm not going there. You can't trade from there. You can't trade futures from there. But he and I stuck together, and he's a good kid. And wow, he's does he? They told me when I had to be taken to the hospital because of my issue. And they said for two, and they had no keys to my place, my next door neighbor. Nobody even knew what was the problem, other than it was taken. I've made alternative arrangements for that, with a bunch of other stuff. The SOS signal on the Android, things of that nature, with going to like 15 people, and the dog walker he had is on standby. If there's an issue, she knows automatically to come here and take care of him. But she said the second day I got my phone, I was back to normal. I got my phone. I called and said, "Hey, get somebody here to turn on the machine," because it was day after Labor Day. The machines were off. I mean, nobody keeps a machine on a long weekend. My problem was on August 31st, the Sunday. So the dog walker gets here about noon on Tuesday and says, Tico had been going around. First of all, on his satellite caller, I noticed that he's been walking around all night. He had not been asleep. He had not asleep. Why? He sleeps in his bed. People, he didn't know where his bed is. Didn't know how to put him in there, tuck him in, and give him his treats. Oh, it's a procedure with him. Remember, he's a Royal Highness. He doesn't just go to bed. Yeah, yeah. So, long and short of it is, I wasn't there, and he was going nuts. He was looking down between his legs as walking and shaking his head. We've never seen him do that. And then the alternate was, I came back. Oh my God. Oh my God. He wouldn't let me move. I walked back in. I got dropped off by Uber. The first few days won't let me drive. And he was just something else. So we're good. We're good now. Walking is helpful. His help came first, and now I'm getting to a point where I can walk with somebody around me just to make sure. Plus, I have a life alert and that kind of stuff, and also SOS on my on my Samsung Z5, yeah, Z Fold. So in better shape, yeah. Mentally, you gotta get there. So, and then it becomes easy. My problem was a little bit overweight, and watch your cholesterol. And then my work went up. I cut back my exercise. Don't do that. Don't cut back on your exercise, guys. I've got to run. I've got a Zoom coming up. Okay, so we'll talk soon. Thank you all. Thank you for attending. Webinar in 2 weeks, except on a Wednesday. So 2 weeks from yesterday. Thank you all. You guys, Siegfried. Thank you, Michael Becker. Appreciate your questions. Appreciate all of you guys for attending. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.